Hello and welcome to the very first Weeb Wednesday. I couldn't think of a better alliteration. Okay, so if you have a better name to give this segment, drop it below in the comments because I'm not entirely sold on it, but hey, I picked Wednesday because of it. So in these Wednesday videos anyway, I'm going to be talking all about anime, and if you are new to the channel, I also talk about manga every Monday, so please consider subscribing if you like manga and anime and all that good stuff. So yeah, we're just here to have a chill time, and I made a little tier list, as I do sometimes, to rank every anime that I watched in 2024. So before we get started, I just want to say I probably will be doing like every other Wednesdays for these anime content videos, and I really hope you like them. So if you do, please hit that thumbs up button. It really helps me and helps the channel, so really appreciate it. And of course, comment below, what did you watch this past year? What were the standouts for you, whether it was a new release or an old one that you just discovered? I don't always stick to watching new releases, as you'll see. I did watch some, and yeah, but I didn't honestly watch as many as I will hopefully be doing as I go into this new year. My goal is to watch more anime. Altogether, I only watched 15 anime this past year, and like almost half of them are movies. So does that even count? I don't know. But I'm counting them on this tier list anyway, because then it would only be like, 10, and it's not as fun. But yeah, I'm really curious what great anime are out there. I already have Dan Da Dan on my list. I really like the manga, so I'm very excited to watch the anime on Netflix. But what other great animes did you discover this past year? Please comment below and recommend me some. So yeah, now that that's all out of the way, let's jump into the tier list rankings. So this tier list I made S tier instant classic. Obviously, I think that these anime are just that good, that for years and years in the future, these are the classics that came out that people should be watching. Sounds so pretentious now that I'm saying it out loud. But anyway, these are the cream of the crop. Obviously, I really enjoyed them, and I recommend you all go watch them. Then we have A tier, Amazing Ride. So while they aren't instant classic perfection in my eyes, I had a really fun time with them. I would recommend them for a good anime on your downtime. No complaints from me. Anyway. And then we get into the like B or C tier. I don't know. I only made 4, so yeah. But we have the enjoyable, but not recommending. So I enjoyed my time with them. Like, I wasn't bored. I wasn't annoyed by anything, but I don't think they're great. I don't think they're standouts. I think you could find similar anime premises and plots and such that are done better than these ones, but they're not bad, so that's my opinion anyway. This is all my opinion, by the way. And of course we have the bottom tier, the F for failure tier, the not it. So these were just not it's for me personally. I did not have a great time with them. I just wasn't vibing with them. So yeah, those are my tiers. Pretty self-explanatory, honestly. I'm not too crazy with the names, but I try to mix it up every time I do one of these. And yeah, let's just jump in. I went in order of the anime I watched to the best of my knowledge and memory, that is. So I tried to put them in order from the one I watched in the beginning of the year to the last one I fit in 2024. So yeah. First up, I watched the movie Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop. So this one was cute. It was, you know, one of those young love stories. It has a lot of focus on their individual struggles and situations in life, as well as their burgeoning romance, which I always appreciate. I always like when it feels a little more like a coming of age story and coming into your own on top of a romance. I think the art style, the animation style, is really interesting and different. Like it stands out. It's very bright, full of color. I liked it because it was different and it was unique. However, again, this story's been done before. Nothing about it stands out as super amazing, super unique. Like, didn't make me feel the feels, didn't elicit anything other than aw, that was cute. And so for that reason, I shall be putting it in the enjoyable but not recommending. I think if you liked it, I totally understand because I liked it too. I just think, you know, there are some other anime movies out there that I would watch again before watching this one. So that's just how I felt about it. But altogether, I thought it was a fun time. And next up is another movie I watched on Netflix, A Whisker Away. So this one was really cute. It's probably biased because I just stinking love cats. Because while our main protagonist in the beginning is she's a little insufferable, a little too much, so to speak. She's still a little too intense. I didn't hate her. I could see how she could rub people the wrong way though. But her evolution, again, kind of like Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop, this is a movie that's exploring her, you know, coming into her own and kind of coming to some realizations and growing up, and also at the same time, this crush she has on this particular boy, and it just how happens to have cats involved, which I think it just bumps it up just a little bit more. I'm so biased because of the cats. I swear to God, the cat village. I loved it. That whole like second half of the movie sealed the deal for me to put it in the amazing ride category. I would rewatch this movie on a night where I am, you know, bored and in the mood for something fantasy with a little romance and cats and just cute animation. So yeah, that's my justification for putting it in that tier. Moving right along, we have Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. I'm just gonna spoil it right here, right now. It's going into instant classic. It is the best anime, I think. I think I can make that claim. It's my favorite anime that I watched last year, for sure. There was so many emotional beats that it hit that just worked so perfectly for me. Made me cry. I am a big giant baby. If you watch my content, any other content, you will know this. But yeah, it's not hard to make me cry, but it just really touched me. Like, oh my God, so many moments were really great. And on top of that, we have really likable, interesting, funny, wacky characters. We have beautiful animation. I mean, just stunning animation. And some great action moments peppered in to just keep the energy up and keep us, you know, engaged. And yeah, it just hits everything for me. It's perfect, 100%, no notes. Yeah, I think if you haven't watched Frieren yet, you really should. I just got more of the Frieren manga actually, so I'm super excited to read on in the manga. If you haven't already and you missed Monday's video, it was a haul video this past Monday, sharing everything I got for Christmas and in the month of December. So yeah, one of my lovely friends bought me some more volumes of Frieren, and I hope to just continue reading on in that series as well, because I don't know when hopefully when we're getting a second season yet, but I really hope we do because it was so good. So yeah, that's my pick for top anime of the year. Let me know what your picks are down below in the comments. I gushed about that one enough, so let's move on to Apothecary Diaries. I really enjoyed the Apothecary Diaries. It is some of the most breathtaking art. Like, I could just pause this gosh darn anime and the architecture, the brilliant sunsets and the vibes were just immaculate. Immaculate. Probably my favorite animation of the year, I have to say. I have to give that award to the Apothecary Diaries. Of course, I also really like the story. I love the burgeoning mysteries as we go on. And we have the funniest, the most banter-filled, I can't even call it a romance at this point, but very interesting, lovable relationship between our two main protagonists. And the cherry on top is Mao Mao herself, our female protagonist. She is just so funny, cute, sassy, elegant, mysterious, smart, intelligent, strong, brave, interesting female protagonist, and I really like her, okay? She's one of my faves. So this one is also gonna go right up top as instant classic. I did probably waffle the most on this one, I have to be honest. Is it just an amazing ride or is it instant classic? Is my judgment a little impaired because of how in love I am with Mao Mao and simping over her? Probably a little bit, maybe. But I also just think that cinematography, the animation, the story itself is so gripping. Like, if you love mysteries, if you like a period piece type anime, I definitely think you will enjoy Apothecary Diaries. Let's move on now to our longest title of the lot. Bear with me. The most heretical last boss, queen from villainous to savior. So I watched this one because I really love villainous stories. If you also are new to the channel, you might not know that about me, but yeah, I have a weakness for a good villainous story, and I super duper loved the manga of this. However, the manga got cut short. Sadly, I am still on the fence about buying the light novels and continuing reading on because I really liked our characters and the vibe and the plot and everything about it. In the meantime though, I heard there was an anime, so I went and I watched the anime, and though it mostly just covers everything that gets covered in the manga, it was really nice to see. I thought it was really well done. The characters were just as fun and multifaceted as they are in the manga, and it's just all around a really solid villainous type series to me personally. So again, maybe a little bias here, but I'm putting it in amazing ride. I had such a fun time with this one. I just think our protagonist, Pride, is so good, and she's really strong, and she really cares, and definitely not at all villainous anymore, but it's part of the charm, and seeing her triumph over these obstacles in her way is just so rewarding, and yeah, I just enjoyed it. Next up, we are back with another anime movie. This time it's Suzume. So I really like Makoto Shinkai's animation. It's one of my favorites. It's a feast for my eyeballs, okay? I'm a super sucker for his animation. That being said, the only anime that I personally super duper love from him is Your Name. Your Name is S tier to me. This one was just enjoyable, but I'm not recommending it. Just like with Weathering with You, there was major flaws in it that made me A, not really connect with our characters, and B, not really root for their romance, so to speak. it was a little better than Weathering with You. I just really didn't connect at all with Weathering with You. I gotta be honest, the only thing I really liked about that was the animation and the soundtrack, which is always on point as well, I have to add. Oh my god, just so beautiful. This one, I did really like the beginning. I was like, oh my god, this might be up there with Your Name. And then we get halfway through and it gets bogged down by a lot and I just can't stay on board. Somehow, for me personally, Your Name tightrope walks that perfect line between grounding and being a little over the top and tackling a lot. It keeps me grounded by rooting for these characters in this really outlandish, otherworldly predicament they found themselves in. And I don't know, for whatever reason, his other works have tried to create that same balance and it just has not worked for me as much. I don't think Suzume is a bad movie by any means. Like I said, had an enjoyable time with it. And I just think if you really love the art of animation, that you would enjoy Makoto Shinkai's work, because it's a marvel of animation beauty. It just is. So yeah, then I watched a few older ones. I had like ideas of using these for like a video, but it just like, I just kept pushing it and it just never happened. And yeah, anyway, the point is I watched To the Abandoned Sacred Beasts next. And again, I really enjoyed this one. I think it hit a couple of really good notes, a couple of emotional notes for me, honestly. Like I teared up a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. However, because like many anime, I don't believe it's going to get a second season. And they, in my opinion, it felt like they were kind of rushing to come to some kind of stopping place. I think in this case, if you actually want to read this whole interesting, very nuanced story, you should probably just stick with the manga, because it's going to give you the complete one and not this more truncated version. However, for the most part, I like the action and I like the story beats it hits, and I don't think it's bad by any means, but I think like there's stronger anime out there about the brutality of war, the mistreatment of the people involved in war. Take 86, Attack on Titan. Those are just two examples that are brilliant in my opinion, as similar concepts that I would recommend before this one. But again, I enjoyed it. I just overall wouldn't recommend it. So that's why it ends up in this tier. But yeah, the next older anime that I watched perhaps isn't even as lucky as that, and that is Bibliophile Princess. So not gonna lie, this one was eye-catching. I really liked the anime style. It was cute, it looked fluffy, and I, at the moment, felt like a cute, fluffy watch to just ignore the world around me and enjoy. And I will say, credit where credit is due, the first bit of this anime, I did enjoy myself. I was surprised that I was really enjoying it, and that just kind of all went away. I did struggle through the rest of it, hoping I would get more into it again. It just kept doing that thing, at least in my opinion, where it tells you instead of shows you all about our titular main character. And I just don't like when they keep doing that, because I don't believe you when you do that. I also just didn't really care about the romance aspect of it. After a while, it just felt so very whatever. You would see it was really just like her reading and then talking with the prince, and it was just kind of boring after a while. I'm not gonna lie, it was just really boring. for me, personally. Very boring. And that's why it's my first entry into the not it category. It bored me, and I barely finished it. I do not like dropping anime, especially when I've gotten like halfway through an anime, but I don't know, I should have just basically. Oh my gosh. But anyway, moving on, dusting myself off from that lackluster entry. Lackluster watch. We have Digimon 02 movie, The Beginning. If you didn't know, if you couldn't tell by my amazing shirt that my friend gave me, I'm a huge Digimon fangirl, okay? It's probably one of the few animes I will get up on my pedestal and shout about how much I am a fan of. I don't consider myself a like uber fan of a lot of anime. I'm just a casual fan of a lot, but I'm mildly obsessed with Digimon, just mildly. So all that to say, I still think most of their movies are pretty shit. Like, not that they don't have great moments, and I love seeing the characters, so it's always a win in my book when they give me a new movie. However, that being said, the movies themselves always feel a bit lackluster. Okay. So now that we got that out of the way, and given a huge thank you to my friend for this shirt that I love so much, let's judge Digimon 02, The Beginning. Okay, so this movie, great animation, first off. I really love the animation of this one and Kizuna, which was the movie that came directly before this one. I really liked Kizuna. This one would be like a little step down from Kizuna. It didn't give me quite the emotional weight that it did. However, I really like the topics that it explored and the kind of birth of the idea of Digidestined, which I liked the exploration of that a lot. It was really interesting, thought-provoking. Did it 100% work with the already pre-established lore? I don't know. My brain hurts too much to think about it. But yeah, I'm putting it in the enjoyable but not recommending tier. Okay, I had a nice time with it. I buddy watched it with my friend who got me the shirt, and we had a nice time. But it's not like it was an amazing installment in Digimon. It wasn't the worst installment of Digimon, but it wasn't the best. And yeah, most movies, to me anyway, tend to fall into this tier. I personally really enjoy them. I just, I know that only really Digimon lovers will enjoy them. So if you are a Digimon lover and you haven't watched it, I do recommend you go check it out. It's very interesting. But if not, let's move on to the next one. So next up we have Sweet Reincarnation. So like villainous stories, I also really like reincarnated isekai type stories. And this one just looked positively sweet. Okay. That being said, it was boring. And the characters, they bored me. And it started off promising. We had a pastry chef who was sadly, tragically ended by his own giant sugar creation, you know, in the prime of his career. And he's reborn in this world and he wants to make sweets. Okay, sounds cute. Like, I'm on board for a cute bakery and sweet-centric anime, right? Right. No, that's not really what we get, okay? By the time we get to the actually making of the sweets, I'm already bored and I've already pretty much disconnected and just am watching it on 2x speed just to get through it because, like I said, when I get halfway through something, I do tend to finish it because of just stubbornness and pride. So, yeah, like, he's reincarnated into a world where the ingredients to make sweets aren't so easily gotten. And, you know, he's quite intelligent for a young boy, and his father just ends up relying on him 100%, which is just, I mean, I get he's a smart boy, but he's like 8 years old. Like, whatever, it's dumb. It's dumb to me, personally. I did not connect with anyone. I wanted to. The first couple episodes, like I said, I was having a nice time with it. I thought, okay, he's gonna get the ingredients, he's making his way, and we're gonna start getting the cuteness and the sweets. It took way longer, and it just got bogged down by a huge array of characters and like a forked in romance that I was like, ugh, these kids are kids. Like, I do not care about their romance at all. Yeah, not really my cup of tea. And so obviously, if you couldn't already guess, it's going straight to the bottom in the not it category. Probably my least favorite watch, I gotta say. I just wanted cuteness and sweets. That's all I wanted. Was that too much to ask for? Ugh. If you have a cute food-related anime that you can recommend me to wash away this one, that would be great. But if you did enjoy this one, I'm happy. I don't think there's anything inherently bad about it. It's just not what I was looking for, so it really disappointed me. Yeah. Anyway, so the next one I watched after that, because I was so like, I just wasted my time watching that. I want a good like reincarnation one. I went back to my tried and true shoujo isekai type watches or reads. And I watched Dr. Elise, the Royal Lady with the Lamp. Weirdly long title. I'm just gonna call it Dr. Elise. But I thought this one was a lot better. Is it amazing? No. But I'm comfortably putting it in the enjoyable, just not recommending it tier. I liked it. I did. When I literally can't really remember anything that happened in it, it just means like I had a good time while watching it, but it did not impress upon me in any significant way to be higher than that tier. But yeah, I mean, if you want just a light, cute girl following her doctor dreams and you also like isekai reincarnated type shows and or books, then I think you'd have a fun time with this one. I liked Elise. She's a likable character. I thought it was interesting that they did a double reincarnation. So they killed her off the first time. She gets reincarnated to like what essentially would be like our world, becomes a doctor, then gets unceremoniously whacked a second time and ends up back in the original world. Like it was an interesting twist for a reincarnated setup for sure. And so this time in her original timeline, because romance ruined her life essentially, she doesn't want anything to do with that and just wants to practice what she had discovered and fallen in love with in her last life, which was being a doctor. So that's her goal and her mission and her passion. It kind of gives me the eccentric doctor of the Moonflower Kingdom vibes, where she's not as eccentric, mind you, but that like feeling of she's practicing medicine that is decades ahead of her time. Similar vibe. So if you're not vibing with that, I mean, it's a little better because there is like actual hospitals and they are actually practicing modern, what we would consider modern medicine. But this one is still kind of like she does all these like advanced medical things and never went to school in this world for it. So it's kind of a what the fuck? How are they letting you actually practice this type of thing? If you can extend your disbelief and whatever, then it's still it was still a sweet ride. And I liked the start of the romance building up near the end of this one. It kind of is a slow burn, but I like a slow burn. I don't know if we'll actually get a season 2, but I would probably watch it if we did. Next up, I finally ended up watching some more Demon Slayer. So I technically, I guess, never really watched the second season. I watched the movie, so the Mugen Train movie. However, like I saw that there was actually a season that they made, so they must have like expanded on some things and drew it out, so it was more than just a feature-length film. I already read the manga. I watched the movie, like I said. I knew all the beats it hits. So I skipped it. Just being straight up with you. I skipped it and I watched Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Entertainment District arc, which essentially seems to be the third season, and yet it's very confusing when I tried to Google it that way, so I'm just going to refer to it as the Entertainment District arc. Okay, so this was probably my least favorite arc in the manga. I still don't. I mean, I like him better now. I'm not a huge fan of Tengen, who is our main pillar, the main strong guy in this arc. And it also features Zenitsu and Inosuke, who, small doses, I love small doses, not when they are there all the time sometimes. However, Zenitsu being asleep for the whole fucking battle was great. And the action of that final climactic battle, like seeing it animated, 100 times better than the manga. The battles were so epic, so great. Like, it brought me back to why I fell in love with Demon Slayer in the first season, with the epicness of the animation and the style in these fights just really stands out to me and is enjoyable to watch. So yeah, I really ended up liking the Entertainment District. They had a few funny moments when the guys are cross-dressing as girls to infiltrate the red light district and find the demon and all that jazz. But definitely the last like 5 episodes where it's just like the constant battling is my favorite part. And I'm gonna put it in amazing ride. I did like have an amazing time with it. It ended on such a high with that last, like I said, 5 episodes being just non-stop action-packed awesomeness. Yeah, I think it was really enjoyable. Following that up, I went straight into Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Swordsmith Village arc. So this arc is hands down my most favorite arc, and I kept putting off the Entertainment District arc because I didn't want to watch it because it was my least favorite arc, but I really wanted to watch Swordsmith arc, but I'm like, no, I can't skip that. I need to watch them in order. Like, I need to give it its due, time. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did watch the other one and not just skip it, because it definitely reframed that arc in my mind as a much better arc. However, I stinking love this arc. This arc is so good. Like, it's got my other favorite best girl, Mitsuri. I just love Mitsuri. Her, like, I don't know, everything about her character design to her personality is a hit for me. I absolutely love her. And yeah, so it was automatically a win in my book that we really get to have more time with her, get to see her in action, get to have fun, cute moments with her, and some emotional moments at the end. And it's one of my favorite endings of an arc. There's the whole, I'm not going to give it away, but there's a big thing that happens at the end, which kind of idealistic, okay, but the ending where they all hug and that with tears in their eyes, I just get tears in my eyes because it's such a heartfelt, truly like passionate moment between all these Demon Slayer babies. And yeah, so honestly, it's ending up right next to its previous season in amazing ride, because that was an amazing ride. I had a fun time with it. All right, our last 2 entries into this, both watched in December, so fresh in my mind. First up, we got Digimon the movies. Technically, I've already watched Digimon the movie because I grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, and that's when the movie came out, and I'm old and I love Digimon, obviously, so I saw it in theaters. Luckily, this version, remastered and distributed, cuts out that god awful Angela Anaconda bit in the beginning. Even as a kid, cringe. Such cringe. I hated it. I never used to like that show when it would sometimes air here. It was just, God, God, all the characters were so annoying. But anyway, they cut that out, so that was super awesome. However, while I'm really, really happy that more people can experience the first Digimon movie, because I think it's harder to get the original DVD copy, I do own both now because I'm a Digimon weirdo. We've already established that. But I truly, I love the Blu-ray is definitely sharper. It's really nice to have this remastered edition, and they also included each movie separate as intended, that was put out in Japan as each separate movie instead of squashing these 3 movies into one Frankenstein of a movie that is just it's got its great moments, but it's got its really weird moments. Very, very weird how they decided to do that, honestly. So I really like seeing each one separately. However, because I buddy watched again, and it was just like, we watched the first one that was the Frankenstein monster, originally how I watched it, and I gotta say, the dubbing still is funny in most moments. Like, it's still really good dubbing. For the most part, it's pretty solid, and the action scenes are way more exciting and action-packed because of their choice of music. The poppier, more fast-paced, more electrifying music just gets you so hyped in the battles. And then we went to the originals, and I was vastly aware of how less uppy the music was. It was more just like a soft, almost like creepy, building atmospheric music in the background. Just very much not giving the same as the pop soundtrack did. I'm sorry, I am a child of the 90s and early 2000s. Pop soundtracks are my jam. And I missed it from the original. I did. I really did. That being said, I am happy, like I said, that they remastered and distributed this again and in the original form. And it's just really cool. It's really cool. I can't complain too much. But yeah, I just had to nitpick about how I like them both, but I wish they had included the music into the new dubbing of the original movies, because that would just been perfect. Just perfection. Also, Ty's baby voice in the new dubbing it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's really trying hard to be like a little baby. It sounds like an old man. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm also, though, putting this in enjoyable but not recommending. I think if you're not into Digimon and the, cult that is Digimon, that you wouldn't really enjoy it. The only one that I will say is an exception, and I think anybody can enjoy it if you just know the very basics of Digimon, the second Digimon movie, War Game. War Game is peak to me. It is the best Digimon movie that has ever came out. And yes, it mostly focuses on Matt and Tai, which bums me out because I love the whole cast of Digimon Season 1. And I like to see them all in the movies, but yeah. But anyway, other than War Game, I wouldn't necessarily recommend either of the other ones unless you really love Digimon. And in that case, what are you waiting for? Get this remastered DVD experience. It's amazing. And that leads us to the very last anime I watched in 2024, Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead. I'd been meaning to watch this one since it came out this summer, and I just kept putting it off. I really, really love the manga of Zom 100. One of my favorite ongoing manga at the moment. It's fun, heartfelt, like a zombie-filled adventure backpacking around Japan premise. It's just, the two things should not go together. Zombie apocalypse and exploring Japan in a cute and fun and whimsical way. But they really do. They go so well together. So yeah, I really recommend this one. I think it's great. I I forgot how like much of a stick in the mud Shizuka, I think that's her name, Shizuka is in the beginning. I'm like, oh my god, just lighten up, girl. Get on his level. But other than that, yeah, oh, and the fact that they won't commit to the blood gore part. They want to keep making it cutesy and different and whimsical and have it spray rainbow colors. I thought that was a bit of a weird choice. Maybe I'm the only one, but I was just like, commit to the gore when it's gore and commit to the cute stuff when it's cute. What's wrong with that? Why do we gotta make death cutesy? Like, it ain't cutesy. Like, let's just be real here. Like, I like the dichotomy of the very somber reality of the zombie apocalypse with making the most of life and having a bucket list and checking off all these experiences you want to do before you possibly become a zombie. Like, those two things are what makes this great, and you kind of dulled it with the rainbow color splash effects of the blood. But my god, that final 3 episodes of this season definitely bumped it up for me. I forgot how goddamn impactful that is. So stupid. It's like such a classic human idiocy, like fallacy of our kind, to just get so wrapped up in our own head and our own feelings and our own just narrow-minded visions and ignore everything else. But yeah, so for that reason and how it brought me to tears in the end and just really great animation. Also, I have to give this one a shout out for best opening. I freaking love that opening. The opening slaps. If I don't get copyrighted, I'll freaking amazing. I was always jamming to that opening. And yeah, so for all those reasons, minus its few tiny little nitpicks I can make on it, I think it's an instant classic. I think everyone should watch it. It's so great. Everyone should also read the manga because the manga is amazing. And yeah, it just it's a really good one. And yeah, that is my completed tier list. Have a gander. I think overall, you know, it makes sense. There were a few perfect gems in the bunch. There were a few not for me's in the bunch, but in the most part, I just had a fun time with these anime. I thought for the most part they were all nice, solid, enjoyable watches, and I had a good time with them. And yeah, like I said in the beginning, my a goal for this year is to watch Dan Da Dan, but I would appreciate any and all recommendations that you have for some anime that I might have missed this past year, or in the many years of anime that preceded it. And I am going to be trying to make an effort to watch more new anime that are coming out this year so that I can chat with you all about them. I'm hoping my next video will be reviewing as many first episodes of new anime that are coming out this winter as possible, but that depends. So I might be switching it out with just like other video idea of doing popular anime I just can't get into. So yeah, one of those videos will be dropping on the following Wednesday. So not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that. I'm trying to do every other Wednesday and hope that that gives me enough time to do my Monday videos and these Wednesday videos for right now, at least, as I try to juggle both of them, and then maybe some extra on the weekend. You never know. So definitely, if you haven't yet, turn on your notification bell so that you will never miss an upload from me. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye!